Okay, this is Donna Lee Heising with More Horror in Hollywood, and we're here with the founder and CEO of Shriekfest, Denise Gossett.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited. Shriekfest is one of the biggest festivals around, and when did you start it?
12 years ago. I know, this is the 12th year. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
I know. I mean, it's just grown so huge. No, how did it start? I know I've interviewed you every year, but for the people who don't know, how did it start?
Well, 13 years ago, I'm an actor as well, and I starred in a horror film, and it gave me the idea of a horror film festival. And when I started checking around, I couldn't find any. I found one in Europe, and I couldn't believe it, as popular as horror is and how many people who love horror films. And so I came up with the idea, and I started it with my sister-in-law at the time, and it has just, we thought it would be like a nice little fun thing to do. And then it just grew and grew and grew, and now we get submissions from every country out there, and it's crazy.
Well, what was the horror film that you starred in?
Chain of Souls.
Okay. And so every year, I mean, you started it in the U.S. and then it went international?
Yes, it's unbelievable. There's countries out there, I'm like, they make films there?
And then what about the categories?
The categories, we have horror, sci-fi, thriller, and fantasy. We have feature films and short films, and screenplays and short screenplays, and original songs, which is a new category we started like 3 years ago. And it's becoming very popular because there's a lot of bands out there that have songs and no one's paying attention to them. So it's kind of a cool category.
Oh, that's great. I mean, okay, now what did you start with? Like, did you start with those categories or did that grow?
We did start with those categories except for the original song. And yeah, so it's kind of always been there. And then, like in the beginning, there was hardly any submissions because we put the festival together in 2 months. It was ridiculous. I always say naivete will take you far, though, because what you don't know can't stop you. So, and then as it's grown, I mean, wow, the amount of submissions, it's just, should see my office. It's not even funny.
Well, I have your newsletter, and I know you started about 6 months ago, you know, looking through things. So, and you have a 4-year-old, don't you?
I do. I have a 4-year-old little girl. Yep, she's at home missing mommy.
Okay, well, I know that the last year was wonderful for your career, so tell us about it.
Oh, yes, I was gifted, and it was just so exciting. I got to be in a movie with Mel Gibson and Peter Stormare. It's called Get the Gringo, and it recently came out on DVD. It's getting a lot of really good hype. I've been taking lots of press, and I did a lot of ABC and Fox morning shows all over the country promoting it, and so that was a whole nother world I didn't really know much about, and it was very, very exciting.
Tell us about what it was like working with Mel Gibson.
Mel is funny, he's charming, he's just like the man you see in the Lethal Weapon movies. You know, kind of funny, kind of silly. He likes to joke around a lot, but he's super professional. On set, he was going out of his way to add things to our scenes to make them longer. He was just an utter professional. I really, really enjoyed that set. Peter Stormare was the same way. Bob Gunton was the same way. Everyone I worked with, it was just a dream shooting this. We shot it down in Mexico City, and it was so much fun. It was funny because the crew is Mexican, so there's not hardly any English going on. So instead of cut, you hear cortamos. And the first time it happened, I was like, what the heck is going on?
So you don't speak Spanish then?
Very little, but it was still weird to hear cortamos instead of cut. So it was a whole new experience. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I follow you on Twitter too, so I see. I mean, it was like one interview after another.
Yes, it was crazy. It was like I was doing something at least one a week.
Yeah, it was exciting just following you.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, what do you have coming up?
I just recently shot a Western, and I play this crazy gunslinger named Smiley. And it's ironic because she'll smile and take you out. She's brutal, but it was so much fun because I had to learn guns, and we wore authentic Western gear, and it was so wonderful.
Oh my God, that sounds like a dream role.
Other than shooting in the desert, but everything else was great. We'd be shooting, and you look over, and there's a tarantula on the ground. It was crazy.
Oh, okay. Now, what's the name of the movie again?
It's called A Chestful of Blood.
Okay, and when will it be out? We'll look for it.
I'm not sure. Hopefully in the next year anyway. They're still kind of doing some post and...
Okay, well, Guy, it sounds like your career is just growing by leaps and bounds, too. Now,
I'm very excited.
how much time does running the festival take?
It's a full-time job. You know, when we started out, it was... You might be extremely busy for a couple months, and then it grew to like 4 months extremely busy, then 6. Now it's year-round. No lie. This festival would end, like last year, the festival ended, and literally days after I was getting emails, when is call open? When does call open? I was like, oh gosh, I'm so tired, leave me alone. And I finally just said, okay, it's open, because people are so excited, and bless them, I understand, you know, you got your baby, you want to get it out there. But yeah, so it's become a full-time job.
Well, this is a premier festival, and I belong to your newsletter list. How can anybody else get on it? You have a monthly newsletter.
Yes. Go to Shriekfest at AOL.com and email me, and we'll put you on there. It's great because we do an interview in there, and then in the beginning of the year, I like to do like a positive thinking section on goals and how to follow them, and so I do some of that. And now we have Shriekfest Radio. Every Thursday tonight, actually, they're going to do it live from the party tonight.
How exciting!
And we've been doing that for maybe 6 months, I think. It started out as every other week, and it was so popular that now it's every week. And so we bring on the filmmakers and the screenwriters, and everybody gets to talk for an hour. It's wonderful.
So are you the host of that?
I am not, because I don't have the time.
I was going to say!
But I have a wonderful host, Jamie Lee, and she does it every week. And if you're starting out or something, it's a great place to listen because they give away their secrets and their tips on how best to get funding and how they get their film out there. And it's really, it's almost like a little class every week.
How do we find it?
You can either go to the Shriekfest site and click on the radio thing. It's every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Or you can go to liveparanormal.com and look up Shriekfest Radio.
Okay. And I know you're busy and you have to go run your festival, but can you tell our audience what awards you've won?
What awards I've won?
Yeah, what awards you've won as far as being the top woman?
Okay.
I mean, that's a huge one.
I know, I always forget about it because I can't believe it.
I wish it were mine.
I got number 5 out of 13 most influential women in horror history. I don't know how.
That's fantastic. When did you get that?
This was a couple years ago. And you know, when I saw it, I thought, this has got to be a joke. And I look at it and I'm like, how am I on a list with Anne Rice? I don't understand. But somehow, it's real. And it's blessed. Thank you very much, everyone.
And it is amazing. I know about it through the newsletter, you know, but I mean, Guy, if it were me, I'd have it pasted everywhere.
And Shriekfest got LA Weekly awarded Shriekfest the most successful horror film festival in Los Angeles. So that's a pretty big deal. And then Movie Maker, we've been on several of their lists. We were in the top 13 film festivals to die for. And then we were in the top 25 worth your entry fee. So it's like we're getting all these accolades around there, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and you'll know about all of this if you subscribe to the newsletter. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the time tonight, and we're so excited to be at your festival.
It's going to be fun. Thank you very much.